Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Referee Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today I'm going to be taking a look at the character classes for Hyperborea 3rd Edition. And this is going to both be an overview, but I am going to target some focus on individual components of the main classes or the subclasses. Just things that kind of jumped out to me. So one thing that I'm looking to be more mindful of when I'm doing these first looks or semi game reviews of game systems is that I'm going to specifically be looking for differences from other systems. So for unique items or for things that just hit me for the first time as being either new, strange, or confusing. Um, so, uh, so these are going to be both positives and in some cases negatives as I'm going through these. And it's something, like I said, I want to try to be a little bit more focused on doing for these reviews or, like I said, first looks and flip throughs. So, without further ado, let me jump right into the character classes, an overview, and targeted focus for Hyperborea Third Edition. Now, of course, I have both the PDF and this is the collector editions, the hardcovers, and absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely love these things. Um, great quality, and certainly one of the better of the Kickstarters that I've backed over the last couple of couple of months to a year or so. So let's go right into the PDF now. So here we have it. Chapter 4 is the classes, and I will make this a little bit larger so you can follow along as well. So 4 principal classes are the fighter, the magician, the cleric, and the thief, and there are 22 subclasses available for play. Each character class and subclass is presented up to level 12 of experience. So that is the cap for levels in Hyperborea 3rd Edition. Now, I never played second or first edition, so I don't know if that's a new or if that's always been the case for Hyperborea. So here we have the fighter, all right, and it's an elite warrior with battle technician, such as swordsman, bowman, or spearman. The only required attribute is a strength of 9. A sorcerer, magician is a sorcerer who studies arcane formulae and casts thaumaturgical spells. I always rough up that word. The attribute requirement is an intelligence of 9. A cleric, an armed and armored ecclesiastical sorcerer who channels the divine. Attribute requirements is a wisdom of 9. I find it kind of interesting that they call it call him a sorcerer. That's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. A thief is a cunning and nimble swordsman possessed of numerous specialized skills. Again, never seen a thief called a swordsman before. Attribute requirements is a DX of 9. All right, so the modifiers or the requirements are nothing strange here. Now we get into the fighter subclasses. So the barbarian, an outline warrior possessed of feral instincts and wilderness supremacy, and here you have a requirement of 13s in all 3 dex, strength, and constitution. A berserker, which is usually a variant of the barbarian, so I find that a little bit strange. A rampaging shock trooper, renowned for unbridled battle rage. Attribute requirements of a strength of 15 and a constitution of 15. A cataphract, an armored, duty bound horseman, soldier, and warrior elite attribute modify requirements of nines in four attributes. All right. So, and what I gathered from reading through the system, you're rolling your stats, and then you're determining which of these classes you are qualified to be. And I've found that that is also a very good way to force players to play what they've rolled. And there's some benefits. There's role playing benefits to that as well, because sometimes you end up playing a character class that you've never played before, or you have to buy into the idea of, well, this is the class that I'm eligible based on the rolls that I rolled, and you just go with it. All right. So I mean, there's pros and cons to making it a forced decision like that as well. But I'll get into that a little bit further in other portions of this review. The huntsman is a wilderness warrior who glories in the hunt and subdues beasts. Four characteristics that are required attributes, and that is a nine for both strength and dex, a nine for wisdom, and a charisma of 12. A paladin and honor bound champion who crusades for justice and law. Attribute requirements are a 9 strength, 9 dexterity, 9 wisdom, and 15 charisma. A ranger is a borderland fighter, frontiersman, and nemesis of otherworldly horrors. Attribute requirements are strength of 9, dex of 9, intelligence of 9, and wisdom of 9. And a warlock, which I find once again kind of odd that this is considered a subclass of fighter. So the warlock is a spell weaving fighter who wields steel and sorcery interchangeably. Attribute requirements are a 12 strength, 12 intelligence. Some require a 12 wisdom C class entry, and I'll go into that in more detail when I get there specifically. So here we have the magician subclasses overview. We have a cryomancer, a specialized sorcerer who masters the element powers of cold and ice. They have two attribute requirements of intelligence of 9 and a wisdom of 9. An illusionist, a sorcerer who evokes phantasms, manipulates shadows, and bends minds. Attribute requirements are a dex of 9 and an intelligence of 9. Considering to have a mind like, I'm surprised that dex is not a wisdom, but we'll go on. Necromancer is a wicked sorcerer who practices black magic and communicates with the dead. Attribute requirements are intelligence of 9 and a wisdom of 9. A pyromancer is a specialized sorcerer who masters the elemental powers of heat and fire. Attribute requirements intelligence 9, wisdom 9. A witch, a sorcerer who brews potions, reads portents, works spells, and lays curses. Attribute requirements are intelligence 9, wisdom 9, and charisma 12. Cleric subclasses. The druid, a mystic sorcerer empowered by ancestral, elemental, and animistic spirits. Attribute requirements are wisdom of 9 and charisma of 12. A monk, a warrior priest who strives for physical, spiritual, and mental mastery. Attribute requirements are strength 9, dexterity 9, and wisdom 9. In old D&D terms, monks were usually in the thief subclass, or I mean, they've bounced monks around from system to system. Um, but anyway, a priest, a sorcerer of prodigious I'm gonna have a hard time talking today. Ecclesi, I cannot say it. Ecclesiastical. There we go. Spell casting and divine favor. Attribute requirements: wisdom 9, charisma 9. Oh, I butchered that. I apologize. A rune graver, a mystic warrior who craves runic spells on bone, metal, stone, and wood. Attribute requirements of Strength 9, and Wisdom 12. A shaman is a primal spiritualist who practices both ecclesiastical and, said it right that time, and thaumaturgical sorcery. Attribute requirements: intelligence 9, wisdom 12. The thief subclasses, sorry. An assassin, a thief who specializes in murder, subterfuge, disguise, and intrigue. Attribute requirements of strength 9, dex 9, and intelligence 9. A bard is a warrior, scholar, sorcerer, rogue, and weaver of enchanted lyrics and music. Attribute requirements. So this is the first class that requires 5 attributes at a certain set, right? So strength 9, dex 9, intelligence 9, wisdom 9, charisma 15. A ledger dem anist, a ledger mendanist, an adept thief who practices the thaumaturgical sorcery of a magician. Attributes are dex, intelligence of 12, sometimes requiring a wisdom of 12. A purloiner, a hallowed thief who practices the ecclesiastical sorcery of a cleric. Dex 12, wisdom 12. So some of these are kind of odd combinations that I've never really seen before. A scout is a light armored spy, intelligence gatherer, and subterranean explorer. Attribute requirements of dex 9 and intelligence 9. So we get into the class terms and definitions, and these are fairly easy to easier to decipher right off the bat. Um, One thing I wanted to delve deeper into is, so you have fighting ability, the FA that the character has at the indicated experience level. So this is usually a to hit bonus based on level, which I've seen in other systems as well. Actually, in Castles and Crusades, they have something very similar. So we get into each of the character classes, and there was one thing I'm going to focus on here. So I'm just looking at the classes and looking to see something that just jumps out to me that is different, new, odd, and confusing. All right. So looking through here, I do see one thing with the like the saving throw systems, is that um, each class gets a different saving throw. So here they get fighters get a that's right, fighters get a +2 to death saves and a +2 to transformation saves. So these saving throw modifiers are based on class, not based on race, where I've seen it often in other systems. So that's pretty cool. All right. And the other thing that jumped out to me here was, so we have to look at the extraordinary feats of strength, chapter 3 statistics under strength. So I would have to refer back to that to see exactly how that plays out. Heroic fighting, the smite multiple foes. If the opponent's of 1 HD or less, they double the normal melee attacks per round. So 2 for every one, or 3 for every one if wielding a mastered weapon. So that's an advantage there. And as you can see, there's weapon mastery, there's grand mastery, there's elite henchmen. So they pick up henchmen. They start earning henchmen at 6th level, which is a little bit lower than usually I've seen. They become a melee expert at 7th level. They gain lordship at 9th level, which is fairly common, especially in D&D terms, AD&D terms, and levels 1 through 12, which I actually like. I like having a level top. Um, and you can see their fighting ability. So they gain a +1 at every stage of their level, which is Castles and Crusades does exactly the same thing for fighters in particular. So fighters' initial combat matrix. And so here you basically have the opponent's armor class and what they need in order to hit. And this is a descending armor class. that you see here, right? So the lower the armor class, a -9 would require a 28 on the die roll. And that's kind of different for a newer system to still be using descending armor class. You usually don't see that, and you still see the THACO to hit armor class 0 matrix being used here. The magician, I'm just looking to see if anything really jumps out that is different. Um, and nothing really jumps out to me. So they have a saving throw modifier for a +2 for devices and a +2 for sorcery, which kind of makes sense. They get they can practice alchemy, which is usually a separate class altogether. At least in some other other systems like AD&D, it's alchemy is Dragon Magazine produced the Alchemist class. Familiar? Excuse me. Here we have this, spell casting per day, which seems to be pretty uniform. Um, Familiar, so you have something that you can roll 2d8, and let's see, nothing really jumps out as being unique that just strikes me right away. And here's their base attack matrix. The cleric, again, I'm just looking for, so they get a bonus to death saves and sorcery. Scroll use, scroll writing, usually not something you normally attribute to a cleric. Um, Turning dead, sorcery. I did read someplace. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm conflating two different systems. I was going to say I read someplace where they can boost their health by their healing by eliminating the ability to turn undead. That's Castles and Crusades. Um, one of the other mods to it if you wish to use them, optional modifications. I did want to. So here's the thief. So here's the thief. There, they can be chaotic neutral, neutral, lawful evil, or chaotic evil. Um, so they cannot be neutral good or lawful good. All right, that's fine. Well, neutral good, I don't see why they can't, but that's fine. Their class abilities agile, so they get a +1 AC bonus when unarmored and unencumbered. Um, so that's kind of different. That's a little bit unique. And then their backstab ability is standard. They have climb, decipher script, discern noises, hiding, manipulating traps, move silently. So basically, all of the standard thief skills, pickpocketing and such. And these are the thief levels, and this is their progressive thief ability. So this is the first time I'm looking at this. So the 812 at first to second level, um, you roll a d12, success or failure. If the result is equal to or less than the required number, the attempt is a success. Um, so on a d12, you'd have to roll an 8 or lower. Okay. Decipher script, I guess it's automatic. Um, and under 9 and 12, yeah. So I see it's based on the d12, and you just have to roll beneath your numbers here. So decipher script is automatic. You oh, that doesn't make any sense. Or does it mean they can't do it at that level? If it's a 0, if the result is equal to or less than the required number, at a 12. Oh, so that it's a 0. They have no chance to decipher script at levels 1 and 2. All right, got it. Unless they have a bonus modifier, obviously. All right, so I read that now correctly. Um, Here we go. The barbarian. The one thing that jumped out to me on the barbarian is their alignment, and they can either be chaotic good or chaotic evil. What happened to chaotic neutral? I mean, Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Cimmerian, is the epitome of a chaotic neutral character. And so to not have that here, I find really, really strange. Um, so that's one thing that I have a question about is that why can't they be chaotic neutral? Weird. That's some pretty unique things that I haven't seen before. So, alertness, yeah, you would expect that. An ambusher, yes. Climbing, always. Seen that. Drawing poison, dry and spit poison from a snake bite or other venomous wound. That's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. Really cool. Um, Hardy, horsemanship. I haven't much seen horsemanship before. Leaping, moving silently, running, sensing magic. Sorceress distrust. I've seen that often in other systems. Tracking, usually seen with a with a ranger ability, but you see it here now as well. So that's pretty cool. Um, I mean, there's a lot here for barbarians, and it makes it a much more interesting class um, than in AD&D, for example. So and I like how some of these, really are unique, and it doesn't sound like very much, where you could draw poison, but it's really cool that they actually would include this. So that's what I'm really pointing out. Um, the berserker, let's see, anything jumps out. Again, I don't know why you can't be a chaotic neutral berserker, but okay. Um, their rage, and let's see, they can climb, extraordinary, just like the fighter does. The hardy, leaping, thick skin. That's different for them um, than was the barbarian. They tend to berserkers tend to go without armor, and so they probably get additional armor classes as they go up, which it appears that they do. Um, their fighting ability is also a +1 all the way through. Natural AC, yes. So you can see their natural AC increases as they go up in level as well. And again, makes sense. Like the art, I haven't mentioned the art yet. The art is really nice in this. The cataphract, usually this was called like a harbinger, right? I don't know if they have to dismount in order to fight or they fight mounted. Oathbound Knights, Savage Step Horsemen. Yeah, I guess they fight mounted though. Um, Nothing really comes to mind that really stands out, at least looking at this really fast. Mounted charge, sealed sacrifice. To sacrifice a shield and escape harm from a single melee blow. When wielding a shield in combat, if the cataphract is struck by a melee blow, the player may opt to announce a shield sacrifice to avoid damage. Oh, so you let the shield get destroyed. All right, kind of watching the 13th Warrior there. Um, Unbreakable willpower. All right, so some pretty cool stuff there. The Huntsman, let's see if anything jumps out. Alertness, ambush, or climb, you would expect. Harvest venom. All right, so you can extract venom sacs from snakes and spiders and such. They can hide, they can move silently. Predator trained from the earliest use to hunt and kill animals. Both fleet and robust, the huntsman inflicts +1 HP damage per level of experience when combating normal and giant sized animals. All right, so it gives them a super bonus to it. When used in concert with a successful hide attempt, the initial attack roll is made at a +4 bonus. All right, so yeah, so they become very, very good at hunting, which makes sense. And subdue animal, so they can soothe and tame an animal. Normal, not magical, of hit dice equal to or less than the huntsman's level. To succeed, the following steps must be completed. Through combat, physically reduce the animal to half or less its hit points total. Restrain the creature. Many a huntsman will use a bolo, lasso, fighting net, or whip to make prone the target before attempting to restrain it. On the round following restraint, the huntsman attempts to assert mental and physical dominance. The base chance of success is 4 in 12. This chance in 12 may be increased by the following modifiers: +1 if the huntsman is strength of 16 or above, +1 if the wisdom is 16 or above, +1 if the charisma is 16 or above, +1 if the huntsman is 7th or above, and +1 if the huntsman has dominated a member of this species before. All right, so that's really cool. Like you become higher skilled at subduing creatures that you've subdued before. So that's really neat to have included that. Uh, that's the kind of thing that you're increasing the role playability and the role playing of the character is by their own past experiences of what they've done before. And I really like to see that where a game mechanic is actually put into play that builds off of the actual experience of the player character. So that's really really neat. Um, Failure indicates an animal is impossible to tame. It may continue attempting to break free. Success indicates that the animal is subdued. The huntsman must continue to restrain the creature for one turn, 10 minutes, kneeling on it, commanding it, and forcing submission. Thereafter, it will be docile and relatively obedient. So, a defeated animal can be tamed to complete loyalty ML 12 after 1d4 months of training. It can be trained to attack, fetch, guard, hunt, track, or perform other tasks. Multiple animals can be trained, even working in flawless synchronization, if they are reasonably compatible, but their total hit die can never exceed the huntsman's level, and the training time for multiple animals is cumulative. So, pretty cool stuff. Um, Again, another unique class that I haven't seen before. At least these abilities I haven't seen before. And now I think we're going to get to specific hunters, right? Um, we have Werewolf Slayer. At fourth level, huntsmen develop the aptitude to slaying lycanthropes. Indeed, when men and women suffer the curse of the beast, huntsmen rise to stamp them out. When wielding silver or magic weapons versus lycanthropes, huntsmen gain all the benefits of the predator ability, regardless of their advanced intelligence of the afflicted. All right, so that's pretty cool. The paladin, let's see, lawful. Fell paladins are lawful evil. Standard is lawful good, obviously. Divine protection, healing hands, honor, horsemanship, sense evil, righteous wrath is like a smite. Sacred mount, seen before, turning undead. Melee experts, sorcery at 7th level, they gain the ability to cast spells drawn from the cleric spell list. Fairly minor stuff, and nothing out of the ordinary there. The ranger, lawful, chaotic, lawful good, chaotic good, and neutral. Again, why not neutral good? Don't know. Um, Alertness, ambush, discern noise, extraordinary hide, track, move silently, otherworldly enemies, track concealment, traverse undergrowth. Nothing really shocking. They get druidic spells later on. Druid and magic user combination spells later on. So that's a little bit unique. Warlock fighter subclass. Hit die, they get D8. Good variety of alignments based on the kind that they are. So Death Soldiers, Fire Lords, and Ice Lords. And let's see, anything jump out? Nope. The Chiromancer, D4, so your true magic user here, Magician subclass. I'm sure it's going to be, so they gain Alchemy, Fire, Heat, Invulnerability, Vulnerability. All right, Ice, Cold, Affinity, so they get extra saving throws there. Makes sense. Nothing jumps out. Illusionist. Yeah, so all of the magic classes, all of the magic user base classes or magician base classes get alchemy so far. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to go into much more detail. This is just a quick overview. Um, so, necromancers can only be neutral, lawful evil, or chaotic evil. They can't be neutral evil. Maybe neutral doesn't have a neutral good, neutral evil, neutral, true neutral. I haven't delved into the alignment system yet. Let's see. And I'm just jumping through these now because like I said, I'm going to spend more time with some of these classes. Um, and so this is more of an overview. And like I said, I'm just looking for things that jump out. Um, all right, so they can create effigies. Witches can create an effigy of an enemy human or humanoid if fashioned from clay, cloth, or wicker, averages 4 to 12 inches tall. Yeah, we've all seen that. That's like voodoo magic kind of stuff. They can animate a broom at 7th level. Yeah, so pretty much witchy things, as you would expect. The druid, I don't think that we'll see anything that really jumps out here. Um, Fire and heat affinity. So I don't know why they wouldn't have cold affinity as well. They should just have natural and natural element affinity. They can shape change. They can take the form of a normal animal of small size once per day. At 7th level, medium size. And I'm assuming at higher level, possibly larger. Oh, nope, I'm not seeing that. Yeah, not seeing that. They can never take the size of something large. If they retain their if they retain their animal shape for more than 20 days, they risk the loss of humanity. In other words, they won't be able to switch back. Longevity, they gain the aging process slows For every 13 years, one Hyperborean cycle, the druid effectively ages but 1 year. Wow. All right, so they're going to live for a long, long time once they hit level 11. The monk, let's see, detect secret doors. That's kind of interesting. Defensive ability, blocking missiles, cellular adjustment. Once per day, supernaturally alter cells to heal. Physical damage equal to 2 points per level of experience. All right. Controlled fall, seen it before. Faster running, I've seen that before. Speaking with nature, interesting. Simulating death, seen that. Um, Nothing other than that kind of jumps out. A priest, I'm going to be curious to see how this is different. First of all, it's a hit die of only a d4. It is a cleric subclass, so very low hit die for a cleric subclass. Did I miss that on monk? What's a monk's hit die? Their hit die is a d8. Yeah, so the priest is fairly weak. They might be treating the priest more like a civilian kind of thing, a non-adventurer. Scroll writing, sorcery, turning undead. Demon Rack at 9th level, once per week, conduct a powerful ritual that dismisses or beckons a demon or other netherworldly being. This ability functions as a dismissal spell, except that it applies only to demons of and their ilk. Priest abilities by deity. So that's the first one that I've seen that does this here. So they have Cthulhu with a K, and what you could do with Cthulhu as with a K. Ymir is another. Yug, big Yog, I guess. Runegraver. So runic magic, chaotic good and chaotic evil. HD 8. Level 1, giant, man, and writing. Level 2, constraint, shower, and wealth. And so on. I'll go into more detail with this. This is a more unique character class. You don't often see it in a lot of like D&D-esque kind of things. So I will spend some time with this to try to get a better understanding of the class itself. Shaman, I don't expect there to be much like medicine man, so additional healing, I guess. Drawing poison, which we saw with the barbarian class. They can turn undead. They have totem. I'll spend time with that as well. Assassins, they're pretty straightforward. I don't expect to see anything super new or unique. They can harvest venom that makes sense. They have higher poison resistance. They have poison use, obviously. Um, Poison manufacturer. They can create poisons. Okay. The bard. I never consider bards to be a true character class, adventure class. I always treat them like they should be expert henchmen. They have mesmerize. They have sorcery. Um, they get the use of other spells. This is a thief subclass. Legerdemainist. Agile, backstabbing, sorcery, scroll use, traps. Basically a thief with some sorcery. This is going to be the purloiner is a thief with clerical spells or very similar. There's a lot. I mean, there's 22 subclasses, so I'm going to rapidly scroll through this now. I don't want to go through in detail all of them, and I think I finally finished. All right, so so yeah, I wasn't initially intending to actually go through in great detail all of those 22 subclasses. So I will spend some time with some of those that I find that are really stand out as being interesting. Should be a lot of fun to play, unique. Or when I go to a convention and if I play in someone's um, Hyperborea third edition game, then I will spend some time talking about the character that I actually played and the character class, and I can handle it that way as well. The next convention I plan on going to is going to be in September, so I'm already scheduled for it and everything, and really looking forward to it. And Hyperborea is one of those game systems that I would just love to play in, and so that will be my opportunity a couple months down the road to actually play it and then come back to you with an after action report on playing that particular character class. So I'm specifically going to look to play this, and and I'll be on the lookout over the summertime to see if I can jump in on any one shots or anything like that, just to increase my experience with the game system itself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of long because there was quite a lot to get into in there. And as always, have a great, end of your weekend. Enjoy your week coming up. Stay safe out there. I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen sometime soon. Or, as I mentioned, with the upcoming convention season coming up, it would be great to see some of you at conventions as well. As long as they're in the Northeast, I'm pretty much game for most Northeastern conventions. And like I said, I already have two in mind for third quarter of 2023 and first quarter of 2024. So you all have a great rest of your day and take care. Thanks for joining.